Welcome to Elementary. I am so sorry about our connection today, but I am sure my guest is going to ask to join any minute now. And once she joins, we'll get started again. So I hope you're having a fabulous Monday wherever you're watching. In case you haven't joined us before, my name is Jacqueline. So we will get started in a few minutes, and I am so delighted to have this guest on the show. There you are. I'm not
Oh,
sure what happened,
that
but
was so weird. I'm so sorry.
that's okay. No
Anyways,
worries, no
here we
worries
are.
at all. Sometimes it happens,
I know.
Technology is great when it works.
I know exactly.
So we'll start over. Introduce yourself, your Instagram handle.
Okay. My name is Anne Chikahisa. I'm a metalsmith and jewelry designer. I am based out of Seattle, and my Instagram handle is Chikahisa Studio. So, we were talking about previously where the name came
Yes.
from, and that's my maiden name. That's my last name, Chikahisa.
So
So,
tell us a little bit about yourself.
okay. I started making jewelry about 15, 16 years ago. It was a hobby. I was a corporate girl. I was working in sales, and I was just really bored with my life. And um,
Yes, we have the problem again. I think Anne has frozen, and um, I don't know. Give us a minute, okay? Just bear with us. For some reason, sometimes things happen. Anne is frozen, and um, I'll see if I can ask her to join. And then we'll get started once. Ah, there we
sorry,
go.
here we go. Maybe third time's a charm,
That's
right?
right. That's right. We will get this done. We will get it done. So, yes, you were saying you were a corporate girl.
Oh, right. So how I got started was I was in corporate sales and I was just really bored with my life. So I decided to take a class at a local art center, and I've always wanted to just make jewelry. So I started taking this class, and it just became a hobby and more like an obsession. I fell in love with making jewelry, and it just took over the house. And I would go to work and then come home at night and on the weekends, and that's all I would do. And eventually, I rented a small group studio space at the art center, and just kept building my collection of pieces. And finally, I decided to take the big leap, quit my job, and started the business in April of 2010. So here I
Wow.
am. Yeah,
So, um, so that's a big leap.
it was a
I mean, you quit
huge
your,
leap.
yeah,
It was a huge leap, and it was the scariest thing I've ever done, is to go from a stable job where I got a paycheck every day, every month,
yeah.
and had a lot of stability. But I was at a point in my life where I was so unsatisfied with what I was doing. It Every day that I get up and go to work, I'd get a pit in my stomach. It just wasn't resonating with me anymore. I was feeling really um, just not feeling that that's where I needed to be any longer. So, when you hit rock bottom, sometimes
Hmm.
it makes you make decisions that are not very logical. And so I took that leap, and it's been a great journey. I won't say it's been easy. As you
No, it's
know,
not.
having your
Mhm.
own business, it's scary. You go up and down, there's lots of challenges, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've learned so much about how to run a business, how to, and I've learned so much about myself and what um, where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are, and I've grown so much as a person because of it. So I am
Yeah.
so grateful to have this journey, and that people actually love my jewelry and it resonates with them as well. So it's a win-win for everyone. They get a beautiful piece of jewelry, and I get to do and what I love, which is creating pieces.
Yeah, I mean, being a business owner is not easy at all, and taking a leap of that caliber is, I mean, it's so brave. I consult in real estate. I'm a realtor, for heaven's sakes, you know. We all know about feast or famine, you know. One day
Right.
it's you're closing 10,000 deals, and the next day you're waiting. So it's just the way it is, right? But it's about knowing what really sparks joy in what you do, right? um, and that feeling that you were talking about, when you know you're very good at what you do, but you just get this feeling that you are made for something so much more, um, warms my heart.
Yeah.
So um, so I mean, that's a great inspiration story. You know, you were doing this for so long, and then you decided to take and make it your full-time, pride and joy. But, tell us a little bit about how you come up with, I mean, I know you say you make jewelry, but I think yours is a little bit more than just making jewelry. So tell us a little bit about,
Oh, thank you.
your creative process, and, how
Yeah.
you come up with it.
Yeah. Um, it's I think the pivotal moment for me was about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I was going through a big transition in my life. I was going through a divorce, and it was not something that I expected. I just came home one day, and um, my life changed. And it's like having the rug pulled out from underneath you, and you're like standing there going, "Oh my God, what just happened?" Um, and I had to figure out how to function, when something like that happens. And so for me, my art is very healing. It's how I get through things, how I get through the good things and the bad things. It's how I express myself. And so at that moment, I just knew, going through this big transition, how to deal with it was to turn inward and to go to my art. So I started creating things, um, just to help me feel more grounded. And I knew the biggest thing that I needed at that moment in my life is to have hope, because without hope, you can't really move forward in your life. You need that light at the end of the tunnel, something to light you up, to know that going through all the hard stuff will pay off. And for me, that was, I needed something that was meaningful, that I could wear around my neck or to hold in my hands, to give me that hope. And so I looked around and tried to find something, a necklace maybe, or a pendant that would have that meaning. And I couldn't find anything that really resonated with me. So I created it. And so going through this transition of the divorces, I created a hope talisman, and I just started wearing it. And because I felt powerful, I felt um, more confident that I could make it through this difficult time. I think it made me show up in a different way, and it also resonated to my customers, and they made comments, and so I started selling it. And that's what developed my talisman collection, which are these meaningful pendants that are artistic. I take a word, and I create a pendant. So, like, this is my healing talisman. And I take a word and I create an artistic interpretation of the word. So, this particular pendant, the healing, is representative of the sun. Because for me, when you're not feeling good or you want some internal healing, the sun is very, very powerful. It warms your soul, it makes you feel good. And so that's how I create, is I take a word, and then uh, find a creative way, an artistic way of expressing that word. And so this talisman collection has become my most personal collection. and it inspires me every day because it's like my personal journey of where I've been when I first started to where I'm going. And I pick different words. I have healing, I have truth, I have hope, which was the first one, wisdom, strength, desire. And it's just evolved. I think I have 16 different ones now.
Wow.
And I keep moving forward. So I have a new one that'll be coming out very soon, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And so I'm excited about unveiling that new one.
Yeah. I can't wait till you launch it. I'll be waiting patiently to
Oh,
take a look.
thank you. Thank
So,
you.
these little talisman pendants, I was seeing one of your posts the other day, and I noticed you can clip them to like a little, I don't know what to call it, like a little locket
Right,
clip, and you
right.
can actually, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Here, I'll
perfect.
show
Yeah,
you. I
show
had
us.
it on, but because the way the camera is, you can't really see. So I have two different clips. I have a paper clip like
Oh,
this,
that's
which
cute.
you just
Yeah,
clip it like this, and you can put the pendants on it like this. So
yeah.
this is love.
Oh,
So it represents
nice.
all our battle wounds and our scars. It's rugged, it's imperfect, because that's what makes us unique. So I wanted to celebrate that in this pendant, and it's got a diamond. So this is the paper clip connector, and then I also have another one that is the lock connector, and it's on a swivel like this, and you can hold a lot of pendants. You basically just unscrew
Unscrew.
this, yeah, like this,
Very
and
cute.
then you slip the pendant on it. And this is more of a statement um, holder. Like if you
Mm.
want something that's really significant. Here, I'll take them off so you can actually see what it looks like. But so there's two different ways you can do it. So this is the paper, the lock connector, and it's on this big bail that moves. So it
Oh yeah.
swivels.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's a
Wow.
nice statement piece. So you can put it on a chain, whether you use my chain or not, but I have like a flat curb chain like this. I also have an oxidized silver chain like this. So there's different ways to wear it. And what makes it really fun is you get to choose what resonates with you, and you can create your own personal look by selecting your chain and then the connector and then the talisman pieces that speak to you. So, like, I have a compassion, which looks like a
Oh,
key.
wow. Yeah.
I have reflection, which is inspired by a vintage mirror, and it's got a little diamond on it right there. Here's wisdom, which has a freshwater pearl on it. And this one
Wow.
has a bunch of holes on it. It's like a sifter because I wanted to represent, scooping through all the muck and all the things we hear every day and sifting through and finding, your wisdom and
Yeah.
the things that are really meaningful and that hold true to you. So each one's a little different. I try to have different shapes and different metals. I mainly work in sterling silver, and then I do use some oxidized silver, like all this is oxidized, and then I also use bronze. And I use a
Okay.
special bronze that really mimics 18 karat gold. Um, it's a very rich color instead of like a more
Mm-hmm.
coppery gold.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
so
Really cool.
that's kind of how I create. And then the other thing I do is I make a lot of rings. I love making rings as well. And most of them, they start in like a piece of wax like this. I saw it off to whatever width I want, and then I will use files and other tools. And then I don't know if you can see the texture, but there's
Yes.
a lot of texture on it.
Yeah.
Um, that I carve into it. And then I send it out to a caster, and they cast it for me. And this is what it will look like after it's all done, is a ring from the mold. So this one has two diamonds that I set into it. And then I also have this larger diamond in this one. This one was all oxidized, but as I've worn it, the oxidations come off. But I think that's what makes it very beautiful. It makes it look vintagey.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's just a plain sterling silver ring that has a lot of texture and shape on it,
Yeah.
organic shape.
Nice.
And one of the biggest philosophies I have about my designs is comes from my heritage. I'm Japanese American, and there's a philosophy called wabi sabi, which means celebrating the beauty of imperfection. And that's what my work is all about, is because there's so much emphasis in this world right now about being perfect. And I think
Yeah.
when you're always striving for perfection, you miss the journey of all the things that you're experiencing and the beauty of that. And that's what I wanted to express in my jewelry is there's so much beauty in imperfection. The circle that's not completely round, the little bit of texture that shows some depth to the work, um, or a diamond placed not exactly in the center. I just think adds such an interesting concept to my work, and that's kind of how I design.
Wow. Wow. What a beautiful gift to give someone who
Oh, thank
may
you.
be going through a tough time or a tough period. Maybe they lost a loved one. I
Sure.
mean, this would be like, I mean, for me at least, but I don't know about anyone else, but depending on the person, of course, like let's say someone was going through a tough time if they had lost a loved one in their life. I think this would be a far better token than flowers.
Oh, for sure.
It would be something that they could just hang on to and maybe um, it would resonate with them, right?
For
It's
sure.
beautiful. Really,
I
it's
do I
beautiful.
do have, thank you so much. I do have people who buy my stuff for that exact reason. And like the healing
Yeah,
talisman that I showed you
yeah,
earlier,
that's
I have
gorgeous.
a lot of customers who buy this one for a friend or a loved one who's going through cancer treatments, or
Oh,
maybe are going through a big transition like a loss of a loved one or divorce like what I went through. And it really just it resonates so well, and it becomes a keepsake, and whenever they wear it they remember who gave it to them and why
yeah.
it was given to them. And it just makes me feel so good to know that people are sharing my work and that it has meaning for the recipient or for the wearer.
So what by far would you say would be your most favorite? I know it's hard because you're probably making each of these, but if you had to choose just one today and or two, I don't care. Um, like maybe not your favorite piece, but your creative. Like, what do you think would be something that just kind of sparked a little bit of what should I say? Just made it a little more special, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, it's so funny that you asked that, because I think the hardest thing is like picking my favorite piece. It's like picking your favorite child, right? You love everybody the same. But if I could only do one thing in terms of making, it would be my wax work when I'm taking a piece of wax and creating something. And it doesn't matter if it's a ring or a pendant or a talisman or whatever. Um, there's something that about this process that I just love so much. It's and I don't sketch. How I do something is I play a lot, whether it's with the sheet metal that I have or the wax or the components that I'm working with.
Mhm.
Um, I will just take a piece of wax and I sit on my bench and I just start carving it or cutting it. And it's very what I call it's like Zen meditation for me. It's my creative Zen process. I just let my hands do the process and it becomes very meditative. And I could spend hours doing it and it feels like 5 minutes. And that's when I'm in my most joy, is when I'm doing that. So it's more about the process for me than the actual piece that I love making. if that makes sense. Like I don't have a
Yeah.
favorite piece. I have a favorite way of making the piece.
Yeah.
So
Which makes sense,
yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So that's what I love doing is doing the wax process.
So for our viewers watching, if you do have any questions, there is a question icon at the bottom, whether it's in the comments or the question icon. Feel free to drop it in. Um, and show Anne some love, will ya? I mean, her
Thank you.
jewelry is just like, I know it's very mesmerizing because I'm just like in awe looking at it.
Oh, thank
And
you.
yeah, very nice. So how do you stay inspired and keep innovating? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I've heard not from anyone in particular, but I do hear about people who have creative blocks,
mhm,
like writers or artists or
mhm,
painters and stuff. And I feel very, very fortunate. I've never had that problem. And I think it's because I'm always just open to ideas. And I think there's the biggest place I get inspiration is when I just go out and take a walk or I'm doing yoga. It's when I get into that space of not thinking and just being. So I can be out walking and I'll see like a beautiful flower will fall in the path when I'm walking. And then I'm like, oh, that shape could be really pretty for XYZ. Or I'll be in yoga and I'll like get into a pose and I'll get a feeling about something that would resonate, and whether it's a talisman word or a texture or something. It's just being in a space where I'm not thinking actively about creating, but letting that inspiration from whatever's around me influence me and getting a message from that. So it's for me, it's staying open and not saying, oh, I have to create. It's
yeah,
going out and living and letting those inspirations come about.
yeah, very nice. I noticed on your Instagram you had a ring posted. I don't know if it's a little wider ring.
But
Um,
with the diamond in it.
yes, yes, little bit of a wider ring. I don't know if it's a new piece or
That
tell us more about that piece.
Yes, that is such a good piece. I wish I had it here. I'm at home and not at my studio, but
That's okay.
it's a wide band ring and it has a beautiful satellite diamond just at the top. And to me, I first started with that big wide band ring. That was one of my very first rings. It's been a classic for me. I've sold a lot of them over the years, and I just wanted to update it. So couple years ago I added the diamond, and it's such an unexpected diamond because it's a wide band and then the diamond is just sitting
Yeah,
off the side, and it's to me it just brings such joy because when you look at it you see this little teeny spark of sparkle from the diamond, and it just lights me up to see that little spark, because you just don't expect to see it, and that's what makes it so special. So
yeah.
it's a beautiful ring. It comes in both the bronze and the silver, so you can
Okay.
pick whichever color that suits you.
You know, um, when I look at your pieces, um, they're so unique, and they just have, even though you know when I was looking through just your Instagram, right, I've noticed like it's just so gorgeous,
Thank
not
you.
just that one piece, like a lot of your pieces are so gorgeous, like they're just so unique. And yeah,
I appreciate
if people,
that.
whoever's watching, you need to go to her Instagram page and check out what I'm talking about. If you like, I mean, like I said, this is not just jewelry. It's actually just more than jewelry. It's got like meaning behind it, and it makes such a fabulous gift to give someone,
Or
or a
to
memento or
yourself.
keepsake.
Don't
Yeah,
forget that,
yeah, no,
that you should
absolutely.
spoil yourself too. I
First,
think,
yeah,
yeah, I think, and I'm a victim of this too, is so often we as women are such givers and we're always taking
yeah,
care of everybody else, right? And we're always the
yeah,
last ones to take care of ourselves. So, what I hope that more women will do is to step into taking care of themselves and to treat themselves for things that they've done. And it doesn't have to be a monumental thing, but maybe some little shift that you did or some project that you completed that is really meaningful for you that you should celebrate it, because every day we're alive, and every day that you do something special for yourself or for the world should be celebrated. So,
Absolutely. You said it well. You're right. We're always looking at how we can please other people and make other people feel so special. And sometimes we forget about, the most important, right?
right.
If someone were to come to you and ask you to create a piece for them, that you didn't already have, would you do it?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely. I
oh
love doing
wow.
that. I've done that. I take a couple clients every couple months on a commission basis. What I will not do though is if somebody comes to me with an existing design that they see and say, I want you to copy it. As an artist, I just can't do that because that person who created that piece, that's their
Mhm.
piece, and I don't feel comfortable copying it. But if they wanted me to be inspired by that piece and do my version of that piece, I could do it. But a lot of my customers that I do custom pieces for will come to me and ask me to create something for them. And it's really fun when I get creative freedom to whether to create something for them. And lots of times it's rings. People are looking for a ring for anniversary or a big event in their life, or repurposing. I've done a lot of repurposing of gemstones and taking an heirloom that they love but they don't wear anymore, and they want to rework those gemstones. And that's always really really fun, is to take those special heirlooms and make them into something really pretty for them and update it so it looks contemporary. So I love doing that. If anyone wants to see some examples, I do have some examples on my website,
Yeah. Oh
on
yeah.
on my blog.
Yeah.
You can look at the blog. I don't have the page on there, but you can just go to my website and look under the blog section on the bottom of the website, and you can see some of the pieces I've made. Those are super fun. I just did one for a customer, which I just posted a couple days ago. It was a husband and wife. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary, and they wanted a ring that they could have that wasn't quite so traditional as what they already have. And so they're two 18 karat gold rings with some diamonds in it that are channel set. And they
Wow.
just got them a couple days ago and they love it. So I
Nice.
put it's on my Instagram page. You'll see it. Those
Oh,
were
okay.
super
I'll
fun to
take a
make.
look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, I want to be able to make sure that I've captured everything I can possibly capture about what you do. One thing I wanted to ask you before I go down that path is, what about a young designer who is looking for inspiration to get started? What would you tell them?
Um, I would tell them, two things. First thing is follow your voice and find your own, because there's a lot of jewelry designers out there. And I think the most important thing as a jewelry designer is to find your own authentic voice and develop it. And it's a lot of hard work because you see so many different jewelers that it's hard to differentiate yourself. But really finding that unique way of expressing your jewelry that looks different from somebody else is probably the most important thing. And then the second thing is to surround yourself with people who are really knowledgeable in things that you're not good at. Like, I didn't know how to do my website or how to do emails and those kinds of tech things. And so I found a community to help support me in that. So find people who are really good at things that either you aren't good at or don't want to do, and that will help round out your business. So I think that's helped me tremendously over the years is having that community of other experts in areas that I was never very good at, nor did I want to learn, or I didn't want to learn how to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So, before we wrap up, anything I missed? Maybe you want to share? Can you think of some?
Um, well, I do have one thing. So
Okay, perfect.
if you are interested, I do have a quiz on my website. If you are looking to find your perfect talisman, it's a really easy, like 3-minute quiz. You can just go to my website, chikahisastudio.com, and hit the quiz button. And it's super fun. You can take this quiz and it'll show you suggested talisman necklaces that could help you start on your journey of wearing something powerful.
Very nice. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
perfect. And where can people reach you?
People can reach me on my website or on Instagram. I would love it if they wanted to follow me and make, and introduce themselves. It's again, my Instagram handle is Chikahisa Studio, and it's Chikahisa Studio. Or you can just go to the website, which is the same. If you go onto the website, you can opt in to get, if you join my email list, you can get $25 off on your first order.
Wow, nice, very
Yeah,
nice. There you go,
uh,
25 bucks off your first order.
yeah,
Join her
yeah.
email list. So, I want to thank you, Anne, for taking the time to, do this Instagram live to, share your beautiful art pieces
Thank
um,
you.
with the viewers. And for all of you who watch, my name is Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group Tower. And I thank you for spending your time with me on Monday evenings to give up your dinner hours, should I say, or to hang out with us while we either do an interview, we talk about the market, or we just give you a little update. But so thank you so much, and I'm so delighted for you. I wish you the very, very best.
Well,
And
thank you.
yeah, your pieces are very gorgeous,
Oh,
and
thank
everyone should check it out. So thank you so much for coming on. And until next Monday, I'll see you then.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for having me on. I really,
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. So have a great evening.
Yeah, you
All
too.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.